Hi, I'm Amy.
I'm Laura.
And we are Two Paper Girls.
Today we're back with our November wrap-up. We were just saying November kind of feels like it's gone super quickly, but also reading some of these books feels like a really long time ago. It's been a bit of a wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey kind of month. But we're going to show you what we read.
I haven't read a lot this month, but I can't wait to talk about A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I absolutely loved A Court of Thorns and Roses. I had to pick up this book a month later, and it's just one of the best books ever. It was one of the best books I've ever read. Basically, it's about Feyre. She is a girl, and she is in love with this guy, and I just can't say anything because A Court of Thorns and Roses, like, this book is a complete twist. It's like, you thought you liked this people and you thought you liked this. You were wrong. You liked this. It's just an absolutely amazing book. I stayed up for till 2 o'clock in the morning watching everyone's reviews on this when I finally finished it, and it just gives you so many feels. It's so well written. I prefer it to Throne of Glass series, but purely because just the world and the characters I just feel close to. But that's because I haven't read a Throne of Glass book for ages. But I could just go on and on and on about this book. Might do a review actually, because it's just so good and I just want to reread it straight away. And they've announced the title for the third book in the trilogy, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I'm just like, oh my god. It's going to be so good, and I'm so happy. Like, there was rumours it was going to be a 6-book series, and I was like, please God, no. Because it would just go downhill, because you'd be like, I'm reading a book, it's this wide. It would just be awful, but it's like novellas to go along with it, and like people's perspectives, and that's exactly what I want. I would recommend this series. So hard, it gets 5 stars.
I also didn't read too much this month, but the first thing I finished off was On the Other Side by Carrie Fletcher. I feel like I've already wrapped this up because I've talked about it in the past 2 wrap-up videos, being like, I'm going to finish this real soon. I literally finished this, I think it was technically before November. I think it was October 30th or something like that. But we had already filmed the wrap-up by then. I just had the last little bit left. But I love this. I gave this 5 stars. It was absolutely beautiful. I love the writing. The ending, I haven't cried at a book in a long time. It really got to me. And I was listening to a shuffle playlist of piano music while I was reading it. And then a really sad emotional song came on at a really emotional time, and it just heightened it all. And I was like, oh my god, my feelings. If you don't know what this is about, it's a character called Evie Snow, who has died as an old lady in her bed. But she's in this purgatory state of she can't get into her own personal heaven until she kind of deals with things in her life, and she has various secrets that she needs to tell people. So it's all about her kind of not time travelling, but it's all flashbacks of what happened. And then it's got lots of magical realism, which is really sweet. It's got a really sweet romance, and it's just gorgeous, and a really, really good debut novel. And I can't wait to see what she writes next.
The next thing I read is this tiny, gorgeous little novella. Oh my gosh, Winter Snow. It was the perfect companion to On the Other Side. Read this immediately after. I had to wait because it wasn't released till the 15th of November in the UK. But I am so happy that I read it. It's absolutely beautiful. As we talked about Evie's journey, getting her through purgatory, it's all about Vincent's. And it just gives you all the feels.
I need to read it.
We see beloved characters again. We see Leaf. We see Vincent, obviously. We see Sunny. We see Little One.
Oh.
It gets to you. We see Eleanor. We hear Evie's mum's side of things. Ooh. It's very intense. And it's just little snippets that I'm not going to say because they just give your heart a little burst or break depending on how you view it. It was just absolutely gorgeous. Obviously, I wanted this to be another book, because a proper book size, because Carrie's writing is just absolutely amazing. I can't wait to read her next book, which is probably going to be soon, knowing her. And I just love it so much.
It's an amazing woman.
It gets 5 stars because it's just the perfect little novella companion.
And the second and sort of last proper thing that I read in November was You by Caroline Kepnes. I wanted to read this for a while, and with Halloween and stuff, I was just really in the mood for a thriller. This has had quite a lot of hype on BookTube. You might have heard of it, but if you haven't, it's basically told in the second person, so it's from the perspective of a stalker who's stalking this woman called Guinevere Beck, or just Beck for short, and he talks to you though, so he's all like, I'm watching you enter your house, I can see you through your curtains, and it's kind of ugh, creepy. And I also I kind of switched between this and the audiobook, so when I first got on the audiobook, I was having a nice relaxing bath, and I was like, oh, I'll start that book. And I was shocked, because it's kind of it is disturbing. You do get used to the second person very quickly though, like within 50 pages you're just kind of used to it. It doesn't really freak you out anymore or feel weird. But yeah, in the back there was like, it's very, very sexually explicit, which I didn't expect. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't think it would be such a thing, like just the way he speaks is so sexual all the time. So I was listening to the audiobook, like it literally sounds like I'm listening to porn in the bath alone. So I had to put in the house chat like, not listening to porn, listening to a thriller book that I did not expect to be like this. But then I kind of got used to it, so I stopped feeling embarrassed, like listening to it in the kitchen when he's just like, I can't even repeat it, it was just filth. He just spoke filthily. But anyway, yes, that is kind of the premise of the story. You don't really want to know too much going into it, but I didn't like this as much as everyone else did. I thought I really would, but I'd probably only give it 3.5 stars, because it was good, but it wasn't as good as Before I Go to Sleep, which is always like, I'm going to hold that up as like the best thriller I've read so far, and if it's not as good as that, I'm just like, nah. It wasn't as fast paced as I expected. It definitely could have been a good 150 pages shorter. It got very repetitive very quickly, and the ending was exciting but not very satisfying because there is a sequel, and I'm kind of just like, I don't really have much inclination to pick it up. It's kind of setting up a bit of a Dexter type thing where you follow the character throughout, I think, a few books with different experiences, and I think you're meant to like, he is quite likeable, like you want things to work out for him because you forget that he's evil and twisted. But I just kind of, it wasn't what I wanted. I just wanted like a short, sweet book that was by itself, that had like a big twist, and yeah, it just fell a bit flat, but it's still a good read if you like this genre, but it wasn't as good as I hoped.
I haven't really read anything else, but I will mention The Fever Code by James Dashner. I have the lovely, gorgeous book jacket in my other room, but it's gorgeous underneath. This is the prequel, the actual prequel to Tom and Teresa's story, what they were like in Wicked before. It has all of our beloved characters in from the Maze Runner. I'm reading this very slowly because at the start I was like, I'm not really enjoying this, like it's just 20 pages of Tom being like, I'm 5 years old and lonely. It's weird because it says they're 5 and then they talk as if they're in the Maze Runner, which I find hard to believe, but they are very smart children, that's why they're obviously in Wicked. I'm about 125 pages in, it's only about 300 pages long. It's picking up, it's getting really exciting, it's giving you all the feels. I've just met the character that you really love from the Maze Runner, and it's just so good, and I think it's going to go in a better way than the what was the bad one? Than the Kill Order. We're not going to speak about that. That was just a bit of a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be probably about a 4-star, because it's not going to be a 5-star because it took me a while to get into it, but I reckon it's going to keep up the good work.
And the last thing I finished this month, I literally finished yesterday or the day before, and that is The Witch of Edmonton by William Rowley, Thomas Dekker and John Ford. It's a bit of a mouthful. If I write an essay on this, it's going to be like, when I'm referring to the author, I'm going to have to be like, Rowley Dekker Ford, as like some kind of abbreviation. This was for university for a module called Reformation and Revolution, where we talk about things in the early modern period but relating to their context. This is a play about a witch, which is based on an actual witch pamphlet that was published, and a real woman that was like arrested and hanged for being a witch, but they dramatised it into a play with a weird devil dog. It was okay. I think I'd give it 3 stars, maybe 3.5, because I've just had my seminar on it, so after talking about it I feel like it had more in it than I thought, and it was quite enjoyable. But I think I'm just a bit done with uni reading. I just really want to read fun stuff. I've just been staring at books on my like bedside table, just really wanting to read them, so this was kind of in the way and it took me a while to get into it, but it was okay. I wouldn't recommend it to read it in your own time, but if you have to read it for university, then don't dread it, because it's quite good. It was okay. Just about a witch as well as people cheating and a devil dog that like rubs against people. He touches people and then they do like evil stuff like kill people. It was weird. It was okay.
So those were the books that we read in November. Bring on December.
Let us know down below what you read this month, and if you read any of the things that we have and what you thought of them, and we will see you on the next video. Bye!